Good evening, friends. Welcome to ESAN Academy. And we are into embedded system programming. As a part of that, we are discussing the C programming. You know that as the most critical part of embedded system programming is C programming. And it's very difficult to discuss the skill on online. Okay, of course, we are trying to give you all the hints about programming, but this is a pure skill and you need to practice. Okay, please understand about C programming. Mastering a C programming is a very critical part. And we are into session 6. And this session, we are going to discuss about arrays and strings. So before we get into the arrays and strings, let us discuss what we have done so far and what are importance on programming and how to exactly use arrays and strings. Okay, that's a trick. So before getting to arrays and strings, what you should have done it in programming. That's another very important part. Okay, so let's go back to the board. Okay, so the almost 1/3 of the C programming is done when you start. When you start, you have almost won the game. Most people lack on this. This is very important. Those who have not started, please start. Another 1/3, that is 30%, is done on consistency. So somebody wanted me to explain about prime number concept. Okay, that I'll explain to you now. Fantastic. That somebody has asked. This is what I love. Okay, another 1/3 is computer programming. Of thing is consistency. That is, once start, after start, consistency, whether you learn or not doesn't bother. Be in the field. Your only problem is you're trying to learn. You never try to learn on anything else, but you try to learn on this. But a skill, you please understand the power of skill. The power of skill is this: start and consistency. You will automatically learn. You don't know the power of learning skill. Now, somebody has asked. So, if somebody has started the C programming, you've almost gone 1/3 of, you already started 1/3. If somebody is working on the code, you have caused another 1/3. All the left out things are only remaining 1/3. Please understand. Now, somebody has asked, can you explain me the prime number concept? It is not a prime number concept. It's basically, I've told you, how do you write on English? Any problem? If you give a problem, you should know how to solve it. If you cannot solve it, you cannot write program. Please understand. If you cannot solve it, you cannot write program. That's a rule of the rule. That's a major rule. First of all, you should know how to solve it. If somebody asks you whether it is 631 is a prime or not, prime or not, if they ask you, how will you find out? It doesn't matter how much time you take. You always confuse between time. I am not worried about time. I am worried about process. If somebody asks you, if somebody gives you a number 631 and asks you, how do you find it's a prime or not? What you will do, it's very simple, you know that. You will take 631. You will take 631 and you will first divide by 1. Yeah, 631, 631, 0. So divide by 1, fine. 1 is a factor. Then you will start divide by 2. Then you will start divide by 3. So you will find out all the factors by dividing by 3. Understand? Once you find that factors, and finally you come up to 631 till that number. So we remove 631 one time. So this, you know that there are two factors. There are two skew factors, 1 and that number. So if you start with 2, let us assume that I don't start with 1. I start with 2. And I end with one number below that, 630. Understand? You understand now? I don't start with 2. I don't end with 631. That means that you can leave the 1 and 631. 2, you will not get it. But from 2 to 630. So for example, if I get a number from a user, scanf int x. I do int x. Let me do that. I'm getting a number from user. Then I do scanf %d, x. X, I get it. I get the x now. Let us say the user is entering 631. We have decided we will do from 2 to 630. Am I right? 2 to 630. But if it gets a factor in between that, between 2 to 630, then that is not a prime. So I'll do here for I is equal to 2, I less than x minus 1. See that? X minus 1. X is how much? 631 minus 1. I start from 2. Express this. I'm doing all the numbers. What I'm doing inside the loop, if x divided by, so I said modulus, that's a divided by also, by I. I'm dividing by 2 first. Equal to 0. That means what? If you get a 0 means that's a factor. If it is a 0 means prime equal to 0. Now I assume now while starting, I know that I'm not I, comma, prime. I declare 3 flag. Now before starting the for, I say prime is equal to 1. I assume every prime number, I assume that a number is a prime always. Nowadays the prime is 0 and break. See now? You got it now? What I have written here, same thing I'm doing. What I'm doing now, I have taken a number from the user 631. I start dividing the 631 from 2 to 630. Understand? I assume that the moment you given a number, I assume that's a prime. The moment you given a number, I assume that's a prime. Yes. But when I start dividing, the moment I get, let us say I'm doing with some number called maybe 631 is a prime. Let us assume 633. I'm doing with 3. When I do divide 3, I get 21, 2, 2, 11, 633. I get 0. That means that I get a 0 here, remainder. So I make prime is equal to 0. Then I break. Because I know that the number is not a prime. So I break. Then I say if prime equal to 1, then printf number is prime. Understand now how I'm finding it out? What I write here, I do the same thing here. This will take some time for you. That is, from English to program is a concept for you. I've written directly coding. is because you asked the thing. Otherwise, I'll generally write this into the program also, then write to coding. Generally for our case, we take programming and coding are same. We think both are same. No, programming is only a set of instruction. Coding is a specific language. Right now, I did coding on C. So I did same thing. That's what you have been taught in the school. If a number has one and the same number factor, then it's a prime. If you don't have any other factors, that's what I do here. I check for factor. But one break here is advantage is the moment I know that it's divided by 3, let us assume you yourself will do. When it put 633, you divide by 3, you found out that it is having a factor. 211 is a factor and 3 is a factor. Then you will not proceed for 5, 6, 7. The moment it's divided by one factor, other than 1 and that number, then you know that it's not a prime. Same thing I've done here, break. You don't wait for till the last number. Is it clear? This is not about, please understand, this is not about prime number. Understand the whole logic of, now you understand now. It's a two things are involved here in this industry. I think today, let me explain that very important than the arrays. This is very important than the arrays. Wait, that I'll tell you. For a range, I'll tell you now. The range is same thing. See that. You do scanf percentage G comma X. That's all you take an input now. You saw if I ask you that, find the prime numbers from 101 to 1000. If I ask you, print all the prime numbers or the count. If I ask you anything. If I ask you anything between 1001 to 2, then instead of this, you say for X is equal to 1001, X less than or equal to 1000, X plus plus. But this is a input. Now your actual prime number finding is here. Now you say for I is equal to 0, I less than X minus 1, I plus plus. That is to have a for loop. Within this for loop, you will say here prime is equal to 1. Same thing here. If X percentage I equal to 0, prime equal to 0, break. Now you say if prime equal to 1, count plus plus. You increment the count, then you go back. Because the break will get out of this for loop, not from this for loop. If you want to get out, then you have to have another break. This is what the range. So what I have done is I removed the scanf with this range. So if you remove this, then you will do it for only one number. You do it for one number. See, I'm trying to use the power of computer and power of programming. You know one thing, even this itself we can optimize. For example, when I give a problem, when you come to the problem 32, when I ask, it will take about more than hours together. It may take even 1 hour to solve the problem. But by changing a small thing in the program, people solve the problem within about 3 seconds. See that? When you come to the problem 32, you will know that. It takes more than an hour sometime if you do the normal method. But doing a small optimization, you will solve it within 3-4 seconds. please understand certain things as we understood by you. You have to understand here is a place why people ask me that every day you ask why programmers are paid huge money, huge salary. There are two reasons. One is you automate my life. That's why I pay you huge money. You save my 1 lakh rupees in a month. I'll give you 20,000 rupees. Example. I'm just giving example. I don't mind to give you. If you save me 10 lakh rupees, I'll give you 2 lakhs rupees. That's the company policy. You save me more money, I'll give you more money. That's the only thing. Nobody is a fool. They will not leave you. No company will leave you that if you do very good. Second thing is very important. One is automate. Second thing is, you know one thing, if you buy a microprocessor, based design, which runs at 1 gigahertz clock, assuming. Now, if you buy another computer, microprocessor, computer, whatever it is, it's computer. All are same. Now, another computer, which is running at 2 gigahertz. And this I have a 2G RAM. This I have a 4G RAM. Now, this guy is giving a performance of, let us assume the X. This guy is giving a performance of 2X. Now, understand one thing. This guy, if you give a problem, this guy solve the problem in 1 hour. This computer solved the problem in 30 minutes. Understand? But you know one thing, I have to buy the computer which is very expensive. Okay, understood. Then give it to all the employees. Let's say I have 1,000 employees in my company. All the 1,000 people I have to give this computer. This could be costing about 50,000 rupees more. So 50,000 into 1,000. Think of it. 50,000 rupees into 1,000 employees. That if you add the 3 zeros, that's about how many? 5 crores. But you know one thing, you power of software, if you optimize your software, if you optimize your software can run much faster than 10x, then they will give you the money. Software is another one is called optimize. The person who writes the optimized code. Now I'll tell you what is called optimized code. That's another trick. There are two things are there. One is your domain knowledge. That's all people always ask about, domain knowledge. If you are writing a software for an electrical problem or mathematical problem or accounts problem, you should have a thorough knowledge on that. That is called domain knowledge. Then you will write a software much better than anybody. The person, the auditor, will write a better software than they. Then next one is called your ability to write program. That is what we are practicing now. You know that you studied from a school from 1st standard to 12th standard, lots of mathematics. You learned addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, algebra, and trigonometry, calculus, everything. You studied so many maths. I am giving all the problems, all simple mathematical. You see that my problems are all simple mathematical problems. That means that you know the problems. You can solve it. Now, I ask you to what you can solve it to write a program. Understand one thing? What you can solve it, I'm asking you to write a program. And that's the problem. I'm not asking you to the problem which you cannot solve. Now you can solve, you write a program. But there is a in between one more thing is there. That is called, people call it as an algorithm. That is, let us say you are starting from Chennai and you travel up to Delhi. Am I right? You're starting from Chennai, you're traveling up to Delhi. There can be n number of routes, but the one who finds the shortest and the best route will reach the Delhi faster. Am I right? That is called algorithm. Algorithm is to solve a problem. Function. Yeah, I thought I'll take it on Wednesday. If you want, I can continue on function today. That is correct. That's correct. No problem. I can continue the function today. And next class we can take on this one. What do you call it? Arrays. Because arrays is not very important right now. Except one or two, not many people have moved to arrays. We can discuss about that. That's very important. That's correct. Okay. I thought I could do the arrays. Functions, do you have to ask me what is, see, if you say confusing me means you have to tell me the thing. So now I'll tell you the thing. So please learn to, right now you're doing, see, don't get confused because I'm talking this many things. What you're doing is perfectly right. First, don't worry. You write any program as you wish. That's what we normally allow the kid to draw anything. You should be able to do. That's called creativity. First itself, if you say that, if you wanted to write a program with the rules, you will never write a program. That is not our important thing. Our important motto is you should start writing a program. That's very important. And I know that you know everything what you can write the program. That's a trick. Yeah, you know that. You know int. You know how to declare a variable. You know how to do these operations. You know how to do if and go to, or for while. This is enough. I have initially given 35 problems set. Now I have uploaded you another 40 problems. Another 35 problems in your Google Drive. Okay. In your Google Drive, I've uploaded another 35 problems. Okay. So you tried all the problems. The more, the trick is very clear. The more you try, the better the programmer. Please understand. The more you try, the better the programmer. That's a trick. If you start thinking too much, if you don't do it, then it's wrong. That's better do it. Write some code and see the result. There's nothing wrong. Don't try to be always perfect. That level good here. Now somebody asked about function. I don't know what is give function. Function is, say, let us say, you have to ask, you have to find a prime number. I told you prime number. You say that, I told you, I've written a small program called scanf %d, comma, and x. That's right. So I got the x now from the keyboard. And I declared int x, comma, I and prime or the flag. Am I right? Now I've written a program for I equal to 2, I less than x minus 1, I plus plus, because I start from 2 to x minus 1. That means that if you don't get any factors, then there's a prime number. How do you find this a factor or not? I am dividing the number, what I got it, with 2 to that minus 1. This I'm writing it for to function. So don't get confused why I'm writing it once again. So now I'm checking whether this guy is having a remainder 0. That means it's a factor. If it's a factor, I write here prime is equal to 0, but I assume the number is prime initially. Break. Now when I check outside, if prime equal to 1, that means that between 2 and x minus 1, that means let's say you entered 631. I'll check from 2 to 630. Between 2 to 630, if we find a factor, I will make prime 0 and come out. If we don't find any prime number at all, prime number, then any factor, then when it's coming out, you will never get into the loop. So prime will be always 1. So I say printf number is prime. You understand now? This is a quite simple concept. Yeah, I'll about functions now. Okay. Yeah, remainder should not be 0. That means that I'm checking for remainder 0. That means it's not a prime. If it comes inside, that means that number is not a prime number. That's why I put the 0. I check from 2 to 630, sorry, minus 1. If I don't get the remainder 0, then I will never come inside. I'll never come inside. So I divide 631 first by 2. Oh, no, I get 1 remainder. So I will not come in. I will go back. Then I'll check 3, x plus plus. Then I divide by 3. I got once again 1. I didn't do that. Then I do 3, 4. I do every number from 2 to 630. The moment I don't get any number of 0, then prime will become 0. But I assume prime is a 1. Whenever you give a number, I assume that number is a prime number. I assume. But while checking, if I get a factor, yeah, it's another variable. Don't think complex. Don't think complex. It's another variable. It's only 0 or 1. Do that. Don't get into too many things of other data types and so many things. That's what I'm trying to say. That don't use the word called flag or anything. It's another variable. Okay, it's another variable called prime. I make it as a 1 now. The moment you come inside, you make it to 0. Then I'll check outside 1 or 0. If it is 0, means you've gone inside. That means that this number has been divided by 2. Understand this? I know that now most people have a problem in this prime numbers. Then learn coming when you're coming, you'll be learning more and more. That this go and set the logic. Now I write this as a function. What I do here is I don't do this. I don't do this. Then I don't do this. All the others are same. Please understand, every program is same. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting x. I have a function called int is prime. Is a function name. Int x. Am I right? Now you are giving x from outside. You will have a function here called int main. There you will declare any variable name. Int a, scanf, %d and a. Now you call a function called is prime with a. That's all. You call this prime. This is what your main program. Now you are calling the function is prime. Now this A go to X. That's what you're getting it from the keyword. Now this is called function. Now this is called function. You understand the difference between this function and your this one program. Both are same. I've written a program, I converted a function. Now here I will check. See that. I'll say initially count. I'll say for, I'll take I also. For I is equal to 0, sorry, 2 or 10, whatever it is. I less than 100, I plus plus. See that? Now I'm doing a range. Not 2A, it's called AND. It's ampersand, it's address of A, not 2A, sorry. Because of space, I let me write it here once again. Scanf and A. Okay, now I'll call the function if is prime I equal to 1. Then I say count plus plus. I increment the count. See here, I declare this two differently. I define a prime separate function. I've written here. Any range you can write this program. So this is the way you handle functions. So is it clear about the functions? Why we are making it a function? Because later anybody sees the code. Now I have written a function, it is available. Now, if I see your code, if I see, let's say you are send me the code, I check, oh, what he is doing for I is equal to 10, I less than 100. That means that he is checking from 10 to 99. I'll understand, oh, only 2 digit. I plus plus. Now, you check if is prime. Here's the advantage. Now, the moment you are given a function called is prime, I know that, oh, this guy is having a function which is, you are calling I. Count plus plus. That's it. Anybody read the code will understand what you are doing. Yes. From the I, I'm going to the, I'm calling the function. Then it will go and do that function. And there I say return prime. That comes here. Then I'll check that with the 1 or 0. That's the thing. That's why we have the return value. The prime function, you do everything. You declare a variable call in prime. You assume prime is equal to 1. Initially, in the for loop, you check whatever it is. Then finally, you say that return prime. So I check here. So for the prime, I'm giving the number I is prime, and he is returning me whether it's a prime or not. Actually, to be frank, even I've written for not to confuse you, but you know what we do here, we don't even write that equal to 1. The reason is, if it is a not prime, that case is going to return 0. Prime means he's going to return 1. as per the if condition, whatever value you return, okay, if it is 0 means false, 1 means true. That is what the C. So I do not have to even write here inside the if condition. I write if is prime I. Enough. Count plus plus. See that? This is simplest program. This is what the difference. The trick is that in an interview, somebody asks you to write a prime number program. If you start writing the program like this, let us say, if you say like this, for x is equal to 0, x less than, sorry, I is equal to 0, I is equal to I less than x minus 2, x minus 1, I plus plus. If x percentage I zero, then do this. If you start writing a program like this, then you say that here declaring all those things. People don't like because this is the only small program. But if you start giving a bigger program, in interviews, you're supposed to start write program like this. That is main, int main. You should always write this. This they expect. Scanf. And x. Then if is prime x, printf, sorry, not is prime, sorry. Comma x. Else printf not prime. Understand now? Write like this. Then you say that after you return a program, you say int x. Declare it. Nothing wrong. You can declare at the end because you will use it and then declare it. Now, after this, on next sheet of paper, you write a function called is prime. And here you say, the top of it, int is prime int. That means that it's going to return integer and you are giving an integer. So by writing this code, you are indirectly telling your interviewer, hey, I know how to declare the prototype. I know this. And I know that the function should have a int. I know that. Then I know how to use the function. And I know that I do not have to do that if or 1 or 0 checking. You convey all the messages to me at one shot by writing this program. So when we are interviewing a person, we watch all these things. How you write a program. Okay. In online, I ask you to share the screen and start writing a program. The way you write a program, I'll find out how comfortable you are on programming. Then start writing it. This is the, I'll teach you more methods of how to, it is not only knowing a program, it is how do you present it on an interview that is very important. Understood? There are multiple tests, coding interviews and everything, but generally in embedded industry, they will ask you to write a program on paper. Okay. That's why I also say that initially ask you to write on paper. If you write a paper, then you are good. So this is what generally function. We will learn about other functions later generally. First understand that how to pass the parameter in a function. Function name. And you pass whatever it is. Int x, int y, whatever it is. Whatever you are returning. Right now we are running about integer. That's why I put integer. You first learn the function perfectly with integers. Then we will discuss about how to pass by character, how to pass pointers, everything. Don't worry about them initially. You also heard about something called call by value, call by reference. Okay, like those things and all we'll discuss next. Now there are three things. One is called when you buy a C compiler. When you're using C compiler, the C compiler itself will come out with the functions. These are called standard functions. These functions are always in binary. You can use it. You will not be able to see that what is this binary, what is the source code and everything. That's what called libraries. Libraries are always binaries. They have ones and zeros only. They are only compiled one. They are used in the process. When you write a C program test.c, you get a file called test.s, that is an assembler file. Then you will get test.o, is called object file. This is a binary. That's what they call object. Object means they mention what they are meaning is a microprocessor. It is for microprocessor. That's why they call this. This is called source file. Source file is the one you can read it. But for example, if you take Windows, Windows have written a full operating system, but they keep the source file. They will not give you. They will do the compilation and give you the binary file. That they call as a proprietary. But if you take Linux, Linux give you the source file. You will also know that how the OS is working. In Windows, you can use the product. You will know that how it is working. In Linux, you can use it. Also, you will know that how it is working. You can change your code. That's why in the full embedded world, we use Linux. Sorry, because you can tune as you wish. That is a next stage of your programming. Once you master the programming, then you go the thing. There are huge demands in the market that. So you understand now. Now, this library is coming here. This object file. There are three types of libraries. One is standard library. You call that right now. I'm not allowing you to use any libraries because I want you to do the coding. That's why I say that except printf and scanf, that is stdio.h. Only I allow you to do only that. If you use any other library, then you will not learn coding. This has so many things, math.h, all the mathematical functions. String.h, all the file.h, all the file related functions. You'll be start using them later, slowly. You are going to spend about 90% of your life. How much? 90% in your programming, 90% of your time. Yeah, 90% of your time you'll be using only functions. Only 10% of time you'll be using coding. Please understand, 90 is to 10. But now, right now, you are spending 100% of time on coding because you have to master the coding. Once you master the coding, using functions is easy. This is what you're going to do when you're an actual programmer. You will do this. But right now, since you are learning coding, I'm telling you that do 100%. Second one is called third-party library. I will do some functions. ESANacademy. And give it to you. You will use them esan.h. And that corresponding library, you will be building that. Am I right? That's what you do that. That is called third-party library. And third one is very important, called user library. You slowly, every day you add up functions. And then libraries, how library helps you. Same thing. I ask you the same question. How library helps you? It has a book somebody has written. You can go and refer the book. Like that here, somebody has written a function for you. The functions are written by, you say printf, written by somebody. You can use it. If you start writing a printf function, you will never get into the C coding at all. That itself is a massive function. Scanf, square root. Every functions are available. You can use the function and do them. The functions make you to write a program faster. That's a best advantage of Python. Python have thousands and thousands of functions, built-in functions. That's the advantage of the Python. They made it as a community product and lots of functions you can readily available everything. But the thing is that before, see, you have a big treasure. You have a big treasure there. That's called functions. But to go there, you should have a coding skill. That's why companies don't test you whether you can be able to use a library or not. All the companies test you, are you a good coder? That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to make you a good coder, such a way that you get into the company. Once you get to the company, you will learn everything. All your questions will be answered the moment you get into the company. If you say that I have to learn everything and get into coding, that is not possible. That is not possible. You have to master the coding skill and get into company. Then you will learn a lot. Understand? So now I've fairly explained about the use of function and use of this one. How to start coding. Okay. So any coding, first write on English. Don't pass this step. You normally have a tendency of skipping this and do the coding directly. Please don't skip. Spend your time and write the English on step by step. This practice will help you a long run. This practice will get you an easy job. If you prove it to me that in the interview, you are an original thinker. That's it. You won the game. You won the game. You will win the interview. You win the game. That's it. You have to prove it to me that you are not only me means interviewer. You are an original thinker. Also, you know that if you give any problem, First, you understand the problem. That's the first step. Second step is, if you don't understand, ask. Okay. If you don't understand, ask. And after understanding the problem, break the problem. Then write functions. And fourth one, integrate functions. Create program. Right now, we are not doing anything of this. Right now, I'm not doing anything. Right now, I give a problem, simple problem. You understand the problem, you directly go to the coding. You go to the directly final step. But when you start going the next level of problems, you start doing this. These are all skill. I cannot enforce you. I cannot force you. This has to come to you so naturally by yourself. It is your life. It's your money. It's your money and your life. Both attached to this. This is a very simple process, but gets you lots and tons of money. Not small money. But one thing I request to everybody, do not have even a 1% doubt about you. By birth, by nature, everybody is a good programmer. This is a problem is very unfortunately, after your childhood, from 5th or 6th age 5 or 6, you have been brought into the system. And that system spoiled you away from the natural thinking. Now I am requesting you to go to the natural thinking. That's the only thing. So you are a good thinker. Naturally, you are a programmer. But naturally, you try everything. Till you stand up, you try. Just because of your fallen as a kid, you never know, I will not get learning. I will not walk. No, you try. How many days it takes, you will walk. Initially, you walk with somebody's help. Then you will walk with the support of a wall or something. Then you walk to the baby steps. Then you start walking. That same thing I'm requesting you to do here. Why do this programming is the same concept? But why you want to hurry? Don't try to go to the Olympic race on the day 2. Don't try to learn everything on the C programming on day 2. I'm asking you to do the same thing. But the trick here, after this, is the beauty. At one point, you will do like this. You don't know this point may happen in 1 week, or 1 month, or 1 year. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even after 1 year, this field is having huge money. I've seen a lot of people who I told them during their first year BE. They never listened. Now, after completing final year, they're coming back to me, sir, I wanted to master this. I told him, hey, you are a very good programmer on the first year. Why you did not do it on the 4 years? No answer. But whether, irrespective of whatever it is, it's a Python or C++ or Java, whatever it is, once you learn programming, all are easy, man. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. This is a perfect methodology. I told you already. I don't mind to extend 1 more day. Days are not important for me. Very unfortunately, I was not well. That's why otherwise I would have explained this on the yesterday's class. I thought of doing it on the Wednesday, but I didn't. I will do it on the Saturday or Sunday class also. Free only Saturday and Sunday if I'm well, if I'm continue this. So you have to learning is, you should learn. That's the most important motto here, not I teach. If you don't learn, ask 1,000 times a doubt. Never allow me to go to the next step. Come to me on this one, WhatsApp. Ask me. I don't understand this. It is your money and it's your life. Don't say that shy and all the nothing works. I never mind. If you ask me 100 times, I'll explain to you. I never bothers. I told you already. My motto is only you have to be successful. And this is a very good path. Programming is a very good path, whatever you take. Programming, there are two things. Programming in computers is called IT. Programming in electronics is called embedded. That's all. There the domain is different. Here in the embedded, the domaining is you're going to program the microcontrollers. You should know about them. That's why I have sessions of all the theory sessions, which you will be attending either whichever your batch, 2 or 4 or 8 months. Based on that, you will learn it. But I always you to prefer, you know maths, school maths. You know school maths. Don't tell me that you don't know that. You know that. Yeah, I'll start giving you the that's all. I explained to you that how I do it on a prime number. Is prime. Am I right? I've written a function for you. Already I showed you that how do you write a function. Watch this video once again. If you have any doubt, come back to me. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll write a small function program and give it to you people. Upload it, then learn it. How I've written a function program. Right, you are right. Somebody has asked to want a sample. That's correct. There's nothing wrong in using a sample. I'll create a sample functions and send it to you. I'll upload everything on the C programming directory. Where I've started 2 days back. Okay then. So let's take a break for about 5 minutes. Then we will discuss about the C language. There we will discuss about arrays and yeah, I'll send you on the WhatsApp group. That's fine.